principal and co-founder of Causeway Education over in Causeway Bay. And I'm here today to share with you a few different tips on choosing the best curriculum for your students with a major look into the IBDP and the A-levels. A lot of people here are interested in making the right decision for your students, your future. But when you do that, you're going to have to actually look pretty far ahead into the distance, whether you like that or not. And that involves choosing the final 2 years of high school ahead of time. So here is just kind of a little bit of information on the significance of the A-levels and the IBDP in the world today, okay? You can see how many different schools around the world are starting to adopt these different programs, and the IBDP in particular is continuing to grow at an incredibly rapid pace, whereas the A-levels are still sort of chugging along for the UK and a few international schools here in Hong Kong. You'll notice a lot through this presentation that the IBDP is growing much, much faster, and for you guys, what's important about this is the universities that you will apply to in the future are increasingly choosing the IBDP over the A-levels, and we're going to take a look at that today. So by the numbers, you've got a lot of different options here in Hong Kong, but as you'll notice, there are way more schools, way more IBDP schools in particular, versus those A-level schools. And it used to be the other way around, but at this point, now we're looking at a massive influx of the IBDP curriculum, and this is something that you guys want to consider when you're deciding which international school to choose. And that's just a pretty big list, as you can see, of those different options for you guys. Obviously, Harrow International School here in Hong Kong, one of the biggest, most popular choices for UK students. Whereas you've got schools like Chinese International School and many others over here with the IBDP. So what's the point? What are some of the things that you can think about when you're considering these two programs? What are the strengths and the weaknesses? And which ones will put you in a better position to apply for a university degree, depending on the subject of your choice? Because we're going to look at the main two sort of structures, the scoring, the format, all these sorts of things. But we're also going to try to figure out what is right for every individual person based on what subject you love. So we're going to look at all the different formats, the advantages, the disadvantages, and then take a final look at university admissions guides, because that's where all of this is leading. And whether you're looking for a boarding school situation for a younger learner, year 8, year 9, you do want to start thinking about these things ahead of time to make sure that you have the right path planned in front of you, and so that you have that confidence to move forward into university admissions. So here's basically the IBDP in a nutshell. And what a lot of students love about the IBDP is the international profile, especially the emphasis on studying at least 2 different languages. Okay? So if you're really looking for an international profile, if you're looking to get into a UK university, a US university, or elsewhere, having 2 languages underneath your belt and having 2 languages in your university admissions resume looks really good. And the IB is all about that internationalism and making sure that you can succeed, making sure that you can thrive in an international setting. And I can tell you that jobs and employers really appreciate this as well. And this is where they try to get their identity, sort of a geographical, cultural mobility that you can go anywhere, you can work anywhere, whether you do want to come back to Hong Kong or mainland, or if you do want to stay overseas, work somewhere else. The IB really puts you in a great position to work with an international team, international companies, and succeed. The A-levels, on the other hand, they're a little bit different. You're not actually required to take any languages. And that might actually be a great benefit to you as a learner, as a student. You really only need to study 3 different A-levels, and none of them have to be a language. Okay, so if you're not concerned with studying English, if you don't care about studying Chinese or any other language, you can simply choose 3 subjects you do care about, physics, math, or anything else, without studying any additional languages. And it's really more focused on independent thinking, independent learning, apart from the more international feeling of the IBTP. Right, and this is more about university preparation. That's why the A-levels are popular, because they prepare you to study those subjects you prefer in universities. So again, if I choose my 3, I can make all 3 of my subjects to be science-based subjects because I really want to go and prepare for university studies in science. And that's really where the A-levels do thrive, in the sciences, to prepare you for those university admissions based on specific subjects that you love. And it really doesn't matter in the end which ones you choose, as long as you try to make it the best fit for your subject. Both of these are excellent 2-year qualifications. You can go anywhere in the world, the US, the UK, HK. A lot of students like to apply to Singapore or Australia, but you'll be set with either of these 2 curriculums. So I kind of want to get into a little bit about the formats here, and make sure that you guys are aware of those different options that you have, especially if you're going to choose the IB. You can see the IB is pretty complex, and there's a lot of different things to consider. So one of the main things that you're going to see here is that you are actually taking 6 different subjects. And if you know anybody or any student who's here in Hong Kong studying the IB, you might see 1 or 2 gray hairs growing on their head. It's pretty stressful, okay? It's pretty stressful. They're taking 6 different subjects. And in addition to those 6 different subjects, they're actually doing a number of other activities, including a sports activity, a research paper, and other presentations that they must do in order to graduate. Okay? So what does this mean? It means you come out of the IB having a very strong level of understanding, a very strong level of confidence in every subject. You're going to study pretty much every subject there is, versus the A-levels where you're only choosing 3. Okay? So it is a lot of work, and this is something to think about for your students. Later on today, in a few minutes, I'll even show you a timeline of different things that you'll need to consider for the IB. But here's the A-levels. Now, I was just talking to someone about how students may actually take 5 different A-levels. But that is very rare. It's very rare that someone actually takes 5 A-levels and then even gets an A-star or an A in those A-levels. Typically what will happen is that students, again, will only take 3 because that's all that's required. And you really want to do well in those 3 different A-levels. However, you may choose up to 5. And again, it's all about university degrees. What do you want to study at university? So you want to make sure you have at least 3 that are focused on that university program. But again, you can choose up to 5. Typically, this is because you might not be sure what you want to study. Okay, so students who choose 4, students who choose 5, they might be trying to study a few different things at the same time. But again, it's more of a look ahead to your professional career as you choose your 3 A-level subjects. So IB 6, A-level only 3. Here's a look at the different assessments for the IB. You will become red-eyed, gray-haired, and you will have a lot of work to do with very little sleep, okay? There are lots of external examinations, anything that's written. There are a lot of internal examinations, anything that's spoken or oral. In addition, if you are doing a science in IB, you're going to have to do lab work. You're going to have to do lab reports. You're going to have to do some service outside of the country, perhaps, and travel abroad to make sure that you have completed everything you need to for this program. There's a lot to do here, guys. Okay, so when you are planning ahead to choose your international school, please make sure that you are aware of everything that you must do if it is an IBTP school. There's a lot to prepare for. And it makes life a lot easier on you and on your son or daughter if you are aware of all of the different examinations and deadlines that are important looking ahead so that you can have a comfortable schedule. Then there's the A-levels. It's only exams. The end of the program, 2 years, everything comes down to exams, okay? So in comparison to the IB you are doing assessments all the time, okay? The beginning of the term, the middle of the term, the end of the term. For 2 years, you have continual assessments again and again and again. But for the A level, it's just at the end. Okay, so you've done all the studying, you've learned the programs for 2 years, and then at the end of 2 years, you're taking a lot of exams. Okay? Now that can be good or that can be bad, because what happens if you fail those exams? It's not so great, right? But with the IBTP, you might have some other assessments that you can use to make your grade look good, make your university application look good. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. This is a timeline of a typical class in the IBTP. Everybody takes English, so it's a really good example. Again, there's a really big emphasis on the languages. And if you take a look at the first and the second year, this is just a small example of all of the different assessments that you will have to prepare for at an international school for IBTP. And again, let me just make this very clear. This is only one subject. This is a timeline for one subject on the top, one subject on the bottom. English, history. You've got 6 subjects to do. So with 6 different subjects, you're going to have assessments all year round, all the time, and you really want to make sure that you're ready for all these timelines and deadlines for each and every one of your subjects. Here's the A levels. Yeah, not much. It's just at the end, okay? And again, if you prepare for those exams, if you study for those final papers, those tests, you're going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. You just wait until the end of the 2-year program, you do your studying, you make your notes, and then you take the exam and hopefully get a good score. There's nothing else that you really need to do. That's it. Okay? So there's a major difference in understanding those 2 different timelines. So again, the disadvantage of each of these. Disadvantage of the IBTP, more assessments, more often. You have tons of things to do all the time. It is harder to learn because you are doing 6 different subjects, and it is also harder to teach. I know a lot of different international schools over here who teach the IB better or worse than others. Please stay in contact with your IBTP teachers to make sure they know what they're doing. Versus the A levels, all the assessments are at the end. Again, this could be an advantage or a disadvantage based on how well you study. The other thing is, there's a lot of different exam boards, so ask your school, what exam board will you use? For Hong Kong, most exams are with EDUplus, but you might have another assessment like Cambridge or another person. The benefits and the advantages, global recognition for both of these guys. I mean, you can get into US, you can get into UK, you can get into HK, anywhere. It is highly focused for the A levels. And with the IBTP, it's very well-rounded. Again, you do get to study 6 different subjects. A levels, you only choose 3, and again, that allows you to focus on those different career opportunities ahead of you. So with university admissions, what do they care about? Well, we're kind of seeing a trend here, and this is from the Higher Education Statistics Agency. They've run all of the different universities in the top 20. And it really looks like they prefer the IB. 40% are choosing the IBTP versus the 23 for the A levels. Okay? However, these top 20 universities actually do prefer the A levels for STEM students. So if you are choosing science and these sorts of subjects, please choose an A level coursework. It will be much better for you going into university. Quick tips, guys. Know your deadlines, please. Know your deadlines. Ask the teachers, ask the schools for a clear syllabus for every single one of your subjects. For both of these due past papers, make sure that you do get access to the past exam papers to make sure that you are studying for these things. And you should be in a good position. There's a lot of work to do, but there you go. So make sure that you guys are, and why I'm here today is to share with you that we do this all the time. We do regular courses, guys. We do intensive camps, private one-to-one consultation, and anything else that you may need. But no matter where you go, where you end up, please make sure that you do choose wisely based on what you want to study in university And when you choose an international school, think about the A-levels versus the IBTP. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate it. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Emerson, for your valuable sharing. Please remain on stage. We will now invite CEO of Job Market Publishing Limited, Dr. Fanny Chan, to present souvenir to Emerson. Fanny, please.
Thank you, everybody.